Thank you, Casper, for inviting me here. And you can relax, I'm going to do my speech in English. Animal rights activists, animal rights advocates. Few of us were born vegan. Most of us accepted the God-given order that all the species on this planet exist for the sake of humans. And so did I. I loved animals, but they lay dead on my plate. I loved animals, or so I told myself, but I wore their skin, and I felt cool. I loved animals, but vague ideas about necessity and human superiority made me blind. There was no miracle or overnight transformation. There was a black cat, and there were the words of an Australian philosopher with whose help I felt my way forward, small step by small step, conversation by conversation, and tear by tear. Seeking the truth behind the lies was shocking. The worldview that I had given my support was a nasty one, a world of violence and dominance. But finally, my bucket of tears was full, and it overflowed. And there I was, vegan and animal rights activist. Finally, I had stopped the poison that had spread in my drains from early age, the poison of prejudice and depression. And finally, I could give my life deeper meaning through writing, speaking, and acting for those I had said I loved. What motivated me, and all of you who stand before me, to seek this new non-speciesist identity? When our eyes opened to the unbelievable sufferings of our brothers and sisters, and our ears heard their screams, we felt the fire of wrath. The wrath over a full-scale war towards the defenseless and the innocent. We demanded justice, or as a Danish colleague has put it, basic decency. We did not want our compassion to be limited. On the contrary, we wanted it to grow over the Berlin Wall of arrogance and pompousness that the human species has built around itself. We made a decision to live in accordance with our deepest beliefs and become who we want to be: merciful and compassionate. That's who we are. That's what motivates us. Now, this can hardly come as a surprise to you. Not everyone regards animal rights activists this way. During my 25 years in this movement, it has time after time been attacked according to a well-known pattern. Vegan activists are childish, remote from reality. They are regarded as hateful fanatics. In Sweden, we have been there again. During this passing winter and spring, media has branded the Swedish animal rights movement as violent and consisting of, yes, you heard me, terrorists. If reality wasn't so horrific, the irony could make you laugh. We know who unleashes the violence. We know all too well what it looks like. It's a violence that befalls millions after millions of individuals. It's a violence that is so brutal that you have to visit history's darkest chambers of horror to find something as appalling. Terrorism. Sure, that sounds like a pretty good description, but not of animal rights activism, but of what is going on in animal factories, in slaughterhouses, in laboratories, on fur farms, in forests, and on trawlers. Such distorted descriptions of animal rights activists as enemies of society are not only wrong, they threaten to divide our movement. That is serious. Unity, focus on our mutual goal and mutual support is one of the key factors to achieve animal liberation. We may, and maybe we should, disagree about many things. For example, strategy. That creates a truly pluralistic movement. But we must constantly remind ourselves that we cannot afford internal hostility. To win this fight, and win we shall, this fight must be fought by a unified front. We shall not be shattered. In this long and hard struggle, we stand together for the animals. Without us, they have no one. Okay, Casper has told me that somewhere in my speech I am free to make a commercial. Here it is. A Swedish online newspaper, Anlib, short of course for Animal Liberation, produces non-speciesist journalism. My colleagues Staffan and Robin and I want Anlib to be a gathering for all animal rights activists, whatever way they think leads to liberation. And Anlib tells the truth about animals' hellish conditions and the truth about animals' defenders. Activists who smash a door, open a minimal cage, and disappear into the night with a rescued animal pressed against the chest are not thieves. They are not violators. They are liberators. That is Anlib's perspective. The animal rights movement does not consist of terrorists. It consists of counter-terrorists, freedom fighters. That is Anlib's perspective. And you are, of course, welcome to follow us online. Guess what I am proud of? Standing here together with you. Belonging to a movement that is driven by love, empathy, and compassion. A movement that aspires to transcend the last and most guarded boundary, to extend basic moral rights to all species on this planet. As such, our movement bears a hope, the hope that radical change to a higher moral consciousness is possible. The hope that we can leave our role as masters and conquerors. The hope that we can learn to live in humility, side by side with all those who also have this earth Gaia as their home. The hope that we can begin to revere life. One of my students, 17 years old, ended a paper on animal ethics with some words written by hand in black ink. Following this sentence were 3 exclamation marks. She wrote, "My soul thirsts for justice." Can you relate to that? Yes. My soul thirsts for justice. I sure I can. that sentence, that message in a bottle, summarized all the desperation, the determination, the love and the longing I am sure that you, in this moment and on this square, share with me. We thirst for justice. But this thirst can be quenched in one and only one way: through ending the oppression of our fellow earthlings, through leveling every slaughterhouse with the ground, every animal factory, every farm, every laboratory, yes, every place where they torture and where they murder animals. Only then, at last, we can say we are not thirsty anymore. Only then, at last, we can say we came together and we reached our goal. Total animal liberation! Please let me hear those beautiful words!
Animal liberation!
Thank you very much.